I believe the theater is very, very physical. And puppets are the same way, and puppets just open up. I did masks for many, many, many years, and then a friend of mine I ran into at a conference one day. His name was Bart Rockelberton, and he teaches at the University of Connecticut. He was teaching there. We got into a conversation, and it started making my mind spin a little bit, and I decided to go back and get an MFA so I could teach on the university level. And I wanted to learn more about puppets. And when I started studying puppetry with Bart, my perceptions of what I could do artistically, thematically, visually, just was exponentially broadened because I kept thinking of things in terms of myself and a mask. So I'm kind of limited. Even though the mask as a solo performer totally expanded my world, my potentials as a performer. So I'm throwing these ideas because as educational teachers, when you can have other ideas to zero in focus, such as what's suggested today with masks and puppets, kids and people will just hone to that. And you can even teach with puppets, right? But that's a whole other world. But it's really a great idea just because it will expand your capabilities, and you learn so much by going through another object, which is another thing. You learn a lot about yourself, about your potentials, about what you like, what you teach, that. So everything's connected that way. So I studied puppetry, and that opened up a lot of venues for me, and I started working with other artists. So over 32 years, I've worked with a lot of artists. I've been very, very lucky. I found this little niche of masks, and I traveled all over the world. Eastern Europe, I got to visit several countries in Eastern Europe, which most Americans know nothing about. And that's why I went there in the first place, to find Bulgaria. Sounds good. And I love Bulgaria. The people there are so fantastic. I said I wanted to go visit the elementary school. My partner and I wanted to go visit the elementary. No, come to the high school. Come to our class. So we went to the high school, went to the English class where the teacher teaches English. There were like 25 or 30 students, one male. You've got that double here. And all these fantastic young women there, and the teacher with no books. They buy their books at a market downtown, Stara Zagora. Stara Zagora is 200,000 people, and they have no books in the school, no English books, and most of their other books they have to buy on the market. So the teacher had to write a lesson every single day for the English students that wanted to learn English, and oh, did they learn English? Because they wanted to. They wanted to do it, and they had none of the benefits that we had. When you think of puppets, it's not just for little kids. You know, they have a festival. I'm going to this festival in Bulgaria. It's called Piro, Adult Puppetry Festival. And it doesn't mean it's X-rated. It just means oftentimes the themes it can be X-rated. But just the themes are really very sometimes extraordinarily dramatic, socio-political, and concepts will go over kids' heads. Most of my work that I do is nonverbal. That way I can go to other countries and I don't have to speak the language. And even the puppets that I brought to show you today can be very nonverbal. You can use music with them tremendously, and you can use your own body language with them. Body language is very, very important. So it's not that you have the puppet over there and you're over here. There's always a relationship. And so when you find that relationship between yourself and the object, whether a mask puppet or students, it just opens up doors, and you just it's a very free device, even as a teaching device, to be able to go through another object. Is that making any sense at all? Okay. I need some coffee. And I made these very, very simple masks. I tried to put them in the same family, similar noses and just plain white, and they all have these very simple expressions. And I have about 9 different expressions I play with. And you would be amazed, I'm always amazed, at one mask, this mask, you're going to get a first impression, like an emotion or an attitude. I go through a whole process of how to approach the mask in a workshop. And how many different emotions and attitudes you can find with the same mask. And sometimes they are just totally contrary to what you first discover of the mask. And it's really, really fun. And that in itself is an educational tool. It was like, don't judge the book by its cover type of concept. And then what it does, these are all nonverbal masks, and people that are not used to moving, move and express like they've never expressed before. Because we can all express, but because of social conditions, family conditions, whatever's going on, we tend to go build these barriers are thrown up in front of us as we get older. Kids don't have them. I mean, how many kids have you seen running through grocery stores, get out of my way, and going through, pushing their way out through grocery stores, and walking up to you at a restaurant and saying,
I have an older sister. You're not it.
One of my characters I have is like a 4-year-old boy named Jamie, and that's what he does. He just does what kids do, just spontaneously.
Hello.